Got 2 pieces of toast, 400 grams wholemeal. One side, so you've got peanut butter, 15 grams, 4.5 sins, clementines in the middle, and then I'm going to put the other piece on top, so it'll be like a little sandwich. So that's, and I'm also going to have, oops, check that one there. I'm also going to have, okay, so we've got cannelloni and chips. This is all free food apart from the mozzarella inside the cannelloni, which works out to be about 1 healthy extra A. So I've got 1 healthy extra A with my mozzarella. So that's so far I've got 1 healthy extra B, 1 healthy extra A, and 4.5 sins. And my cannelloni I've got sweet corn, which is free foods, courgettes, which is speed, tomatoes, peppers, mushrooms, and lots of different types of spices, chili flakes, all sorts. I'm going to put some salt and vinegar on the chips as well. Hiya, just letting you know I've eaten so far, so got back from work and school, etc., and I had a couple of clementines, a pear. I had a decaffeinated coffee with almond milk. I had 2 of those, one to take up with the kiddies, I did bath, and I had kind of a couple of spoonfuls of baked beans. So I've had no sins in that, but just free food and speed feed. I'm a bit worried now because I was going to sit down and do some homework sort of prep tonight, kind of put all my documents together so that I can do it easier, but I haven't brought my charger from my laptop home with me from work, so I'd only got like 15%, and it won't really be enough for me to get anything done, that 15%, so I'm going to I'm a bit worried now, but it's always tricky because when it's late at night I always worry about things more anyway. It's not exactly late, but I think I'll just check the time actually. It's 8 o'clock. So I'm dealing with the guilt of basically now not doing my homework. I've still got lots of time before the chap comes, because he's only literally came last week to check up on what I've been getting on to, so I've got 2 more units to complete for the next time he comes down. I probably will end up doing some at work tomorrow, which again I feel guilty about because I should really be doing other things. So obviously the management course is good for the business, it's a good thing to achieve, and it's a good thing that allows more focus to happen, especially seeing the next unit along is doing a piece of writing, like a piece of business writing, which the chap said that it's probably a good idea to do a business plan as a piece of writing. So of course a business plan is a great idea to do for a business, so it's incredibly useful, but on the other hand there's a bit of me thinking, oh, all the invoices I should really be doing, and there's so many things you should always be doing. So I'm trying to just calm down from the fact that I can't just do my homework tonight. I have to try and remember to make sure I bring the charger back home with me each night. I think especially because I was a bit like, oh, do I have to do that? And I could just sit down and chill out. So there's a bit of me sort of kind of prep myself to do it and push myself, and I thought I'll just get the laptop out, and then once that's there I'll start, and then it didn't have enough charge, so now I'm kind of coming down from that. I'm hungry, so I'm going to have an evening meal tonight. I haven't got sort of like any, I normally have like a bowl of leftovers I can just access. Sometimes that doesn't happen because we don't have leftovers to access, so in those moments I normally just have jack potatoes. So I'm going to have, I've put 4 in the microwave, so they're all done. There's just 4 little potatoes, but I sit them in the microwave for a little bit longer than when they cook, and then just sit them in for a minute or so, just to allow the sort of steam just to kind of cook them through thoroughly, to save there being kind of any hidden hard patches. Also I've made the chilli yesterday, so that's there, which I think what I'm going to do is just heat up a little bit of it and then have it with the potatoes, but I'm also going to have some baked beans. I'm going to have baked beans, chilli, and I'm going to have some gherkins on it. So I think that's what I'm going to have for tea. I'm just a little bit worried. I can't remember when the chap's coming. I think it's in February. I'm not entirely sure, but I'll have a quick check and just get back to you. Okay, so I've had a quick check on my calendar, and I've got 3 weeks and 2 days before he comes again. So I've got 2 units to complete, and that will be, one will be a business plan, and I can't remember what the other one is. There's some other thing, I can't remember exactly what it is. I've got it all written down in my, but I need to start it so that it becomes easier. So I think I will. I will make time in the morning tomorrow. We've got a supplier coming in the morning for a chat. But if I make sure I do first thing, all I need to do is put the information on a Word document so that I can access it at any time. It's kind of the big amount of work is getting all of the Word document together. So then I can complete the task and it will all kind of link together. So I need to get it done so I can do it easily. I've got 3 weeks and 2 days to do 2 units, so it's kind of like a week and a half thereabouts to do either unit, which should be reasonably plausible. I'm just going to have to make a tiny bit more time to do it in. My evenings are now filled up with I should have probably done some, because he came to visit on last Friday I think it was. I probably should have done a bit more over the weekend, but I think I just kind of had enough. I wanted a break from it. But I should be able to have, so this is what I try and do. I get a worry, I just try and plan it out in my head so I've got a battle plan. Because obviously previous to now I would just let it worry me and then get stressed and then eat to kind of recover or block it out. But now I need to make a battle plan so that I can calm my mind and then I don't end up eating stuff unnecessarily, just so that my brain can forget about it. So I know that I've got Tuesday evenings, a Monday evening, I've also got a Monday evening now I can do it in. I've also got a Sunday evening, so I could do a Sunday, a Monday and a Tuesday evening of homework. I don't need to put a lot of time in, hour each time is plenty, and it can kind of accumulate. I've also got a tiny bit of time in the morning that I can put together some bits and pieces, and not a lot of time, but you know, a few sentences here and there will add up. And yeah, on the Wednesday I go out to Body Balance, on the Thursday I go to the gym, and on the Friday evening, I've got a bit of time Friday evening as well, once the kids have gone to bed, so I can do a Friday evening. I can do a Saturday. Can I do any time on Saturday? I don't tend to have a lot of time, but I could put some time in the morning on the Saturday, because we normally have a tiny bit of time ready to go, sort of like an hour or so first thing. So yeah, I've got time. I've just got to squeeze it in where I can, I think, is all, because I don't want to get to the other end when he arrives and I haven't done the units. So yeah, thanks for being there to chat to about where my struggles are. I feel the pressure. Obviously we're back to the main routine now, and it's all it's like a lot of things to do, and unless I get it right and unless I plan it right, I'm not going to get any of the stuff done. So it scares me that I'll get to the other end of the year and I won't have done all the stuff I was supposed to have done. So I like to make sure I can do it, but sometimes still the pressure gets you, that you know, of all the stuff you've got to try and achieve. So I like to make sure that obviously I'm better now because I'm eating well and I'm exercising well, so my brain can work far better than it used to be able to do. It still kind of gets you. Oh, that reminds me, that's the other unit. I've got one of the units is do a piece of business writing, and the other unit is stress management. So there we are then. So that's all about managing the stress, which is what I've just been talking about, making sure you make a plan and such, making sure that you know, put things in perspective. So yeah. Alright, I think now, so I put washing on everything. I think I'm going to make myself some tea. I've got to do a bit of washing up before I've sort of made the rice and that as well, ready to put together with chilli for tomorrow. I've made the hummus. I've got a little hand blender now that I got myself because my other one had broken because I used it so much. And it comes with this little jug thing that you, so I've made my hummus in here because it comes with a little lid. It's like almost like a little measuring, like a beaker. It comes with a little lid, so I make the hummus in there, and then we can work our way through the hummus. And then when it runs out, I can just refill it full of hummus again. So that's quite a good thing. I'm enjoying that. It's very handy to not have to transfer it to another unit. And it also leaves my other jug, my little Pyrex jug, which I normally use for hummus, clear for when I make the kiddies the oat pancakes on the Monday. So that can stay there waiting for that usage, because it's quite nice to be able to access quickly to the food and utensils that we need. Yeah, so I think what I've got to do now is, I've got to wash up some of these little containers ready to put the chilli and the rice in. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to eat my food first. Should I? I might quickly wash them up while the beans are cooking, so I'm going to cook some beans. So, and then, because sometimes, you know, after you've eaten food, you're a bit like, oh, I can't bother now. So it'd be nice to have done everything first before I eat. Right, that was a good old ramble, but I just started to feel the pressure of not being able to do the homework when I wanted to do it. Starting to feel the panic rise. Okay, I'm going to make myself some dinner. I will show you what it looks like when it is plated up, although I will put it in a bowl, because it's quite nice eating potatoes out of a bowl. It feels like a really sort of a hearty way of eating your food, you know, in a kind of a big old kind of hearty bowl of food, and, you know, potatoes and chilli and beans and such. So that's what I will do. Okay, see you in a bit. Bye. Okay, so I'm just basically showing you what I do. So at the moment I've transferred, the chilli was in there, I've just given that a quick rinse out so that it doesn't stick. It should be pretty good. It's not too, it should probably just go away washed. I'll just give it a quick, it's quite a good non-stick pan. I've got some, so this is where I put the chilli in for Thursday. Basically I put it in the fridge. I leave it overnight on the stove because obviously it's hot and I don't want to go in the fridge, and then it's basically cold by now, so I can put it away. There's no meat in it, so it's not like you have to worry about the meat side of things, which is always the beauty of being vegetarian. You don't have to worry about meat and you know, sort of, I don't know, like bad meat storage or something. So the idea is that I've got a little bowl here. This will be for tomorrow when I get back, so I can either have it, if it depends on how hungry I am, I have it straight away when I get back with the kids, or I'll have it after I put the kids to bed. I've got two little containers here, each with, I've spooned out some rice, so the rest of this rice will go into my red container, and then I'm going to now spoon in some of this chilli into these containers, and that will be there for tomorrow. I don't put it in there, that's the rice dish. I'm going to put it in there and there and there. I'll just spoon it up and then show you. So that's all spooned across now. I've taken kind of maybe a third out of there, and this will then, that's the big chilli pot, the chilli container, and that will then sit there ready for Thursday's usage. And then we will have, what will we have? No, not Thursday, sorry, Friday. Friday then, and then my partner, then I'll do some Cinnamon Roll chips, and the partner will just have chilli, Cinnamon Roll chips and hummus for tea. And they will also then have that for his Saturday lunchtime at work. This is what I would have for tomorrow when I get back, either when I get back from work and the kids, or after they've gone to sleep. I've got a little lid there, which is so handy to store it in this container, because then it can store then. So just pull it out of the fridge. It's microwavable container. It's got little pop-up bits there so the air can come out. Microwavable container. Just slam it in the microwave for 4 to 5 minutes, and then we've got food ready to eat in it in an emergency fashion. And these little Tupperware containers, they're a nice substantial size. They're microwavable, and I can put them in the fridge. Put these in the fridge now, ready for tomorrow, and I just put them in my cool bag, ready to take to work. And then we've got something quick and easy to have for lunch, because life gets quite stressful sometimes at work, and sometimes things are tricky. Sometimes obviously you need to deal with the customers, and we're not in a position whereby we treat our customers kindly, and we sometimes you need to put a little bit of extra effort in at lunchtime, even though we should be shut, to put a little extra in so that the sales are a little bit more forthcoming. So then that means that one of us can quickly shove this in the microwave. This usually takes around, we put them both together on top of each other with the lid slightly ajar, slightly at an angle. Then we put this in for about 9 minutes, and then put them individually back in again for 1 minute, just to warm right through. And then that allows us to eat our food quickly and easily when it's time that we can eat. And that works pretty well, and it works so well I can't even imagine how on earth we managed without this system. It's just implausible. We used to make sandwiches and all sorts, or nip to the shop and go and grab something, and it's just a terrible idea. This works so much better. Right, so now I've put basically a spoon of the chilli into the baked beans, and that's just because obviously the chilli will be quite hot mixed with the baked beans. So I've mixed that there with that, which I'm now going to spoon over the potatoes and eat. I'll do a video of the finished, bowl with the gherkins. Okay, so I've just basically cut the 4 little potatoes underneath. I can show them in there, they're quite well hidden now. Chop them up into little, one horizontally, then vertically, and put them flat down, and then put them all 4 underneath, and then tip the whole other mix of chilli and baked beans on the top. And then I've cut up the gherkins and put them on the top. There's quite a lot here, so I don't know whether I'll eat it all, but I am likely to eat it. If I get fed up halfway through, then I can pop it into the red container that I've got the chilli and rice in, and that can just be there for an added extra for tomorrow. There's a little bit of space at the top to dump some in if I've got too much food here. But that's the beauty of Slimming World, is you can have loads of food. If you've had enough, you can just stop. You don't have to be in a position where you haven't had enough in the first place. So you can just, do it like that. Alright, I'm going to eat. See you in a bit. Okay, so I've had my evening meal. That was very delicious, really nice. I'm going to have now a little snack after. So I've got decaffeinated coffee with almond milk, and I've got some clementines, which my peel are discarded on the side. No, it's just one clementine, and a pear, conference pear, and I've got some nuts here. So I've got, this is sort of what I worked out a little while ago, because Jane Doe was very kind and gave me a giant bag of nuts with all of these different types in, and eventually I decided to kind of have a Healthy Extra B made up of all 6 types of nuts. That would allow me to have a little bit of everything, that would allow me to have a good range of good fats within. Sometimes obviously I just have 16 almonds for a Healthy Extra B, just because it's quite nice just to have loads of almonds. So pistachios, you can have 34 pistachios, you have 23 hazelnuts, 16 almonds, I think 14 cashew nuts, 11 pecans and 5 walnut halves. So you can have those as options, but I quite like just to have a selection. So this is what's made up of one Healthy Extra B that I sort of worked out. So I've already had a Healthy Extra B this morning with my toast. So I've had one Healthy Extra B, 2 Healthy Extra A's with my mozzarella and my almond milk, and so this was the second Healthy Extra B. I have got 1 walnut, which makes up a quarter. 3 pecans, which make up a quarter. 3 cashew nuts, which make up a quarter. So that's 3 quarters so far. And I've got 1/8, which is 2 almonds. And I've got 2 hazelnuts, which is 1/16, 2 pistachios, which is 1/16, and those 3 there at the end make up 1/4. That's 1 whole. How the extra be? Obviously, I've kind of because obviously I can have 34 pistachios. This is slightly under the amount because it's obviously 16 plus 16 is 32. Hazelnuts I can have 23, so this is slightly over. Almonds I can have 16, so this is exactly 1/8. Cashew nuts I can have 14, so a quarter, that's slightly under. So obviously 3 times 4 is 12, and this is slightly over because 3 times 4 is 12, and you're supposed to have 11 pecans. And this is slightly under because you can have 5 walnut halves, whereas this would be make up would make up 4 if you had 4. So it all balances out. There's some are under, some are over. So that amount there. I'll keep this piece of paper forever now, I think, just because it's very handy to know just what it is. Soon enough, when I get through the bag of nuts that Jane very kindly gave me, I will then carry on going to Lidl's and get those selection of dried fruits and selection of nuts and things that they do, because it's very handy just having a god stash of nuts that you can make a selection of. It's a very nice way to end the day. Okay, I'm going to eat, and this will probably be the last bit, so I shall say goodbye here, and I will see you tomorrow. Lots of love to everybody. See you soon. Bye.